For centuries, historians believed that the great golden city of the Sahara, a metropolis of 1 million souls, vanished due to a catastrophic drought. They called it a tragedy of nature. But the truth is far more sinister. 500 years ago, this entire civilization did not die of thirst. They were buried alive under a mountain of suffocating sand, deliberately sealed from the outside world to contain something that should never have been unearthed. Our journey into this darkness begins with Professor Marcus, an archaeologist who spent his life chasing myths. In the flickering light of his desert tent, he discovered anomalies in ancient trade maps. A massive city, once a hub of global wealth, suddenly vanished from every record in the year 1523. It was as if the world collectively agreed to forget it ever existed. But some did not forget. Deep within the subterranean archives of the Vatican, hidden behind miles of classified documents, lies the answer. A young Jesuit scholar, Father Thomas, stumbled upon a forbidden ledger. This wasn't a record of theological debates, but a military logbook detailing a massive, papal-sanctioned quarantine expedition to the heart of Africa. The pages spoke of a cosmic horror. The ledger described the City of Gold not as a victim of nature, but as ground zero for an infection of the mind. An ancient, non-human entity had been awakened beneath the city's deepest well. It was a sentient, malevolent shadow that could control the thoughts of anyone who breathed the dust around it. The Vatican Codex revealed a terrifying resolution. To save humanity, the surrounding empires united under a secret pact. They did not send aid. Instead, they marched thousands of soldiers to the perimeter of the Golden City, constructing massive brass and stone barricades. They trapped 1 million citizens inside, condemning them to a slow, horrific death. What was inside that city was no longer human. The entity, ancient and starved of physical form, had merged with the population. It was a parasitic consciousness, a collective nightmare that sought to expand across the continent. The only way to kill it, or at least sleep it away, was total deprivation of light and air. Witness accounts from the outer walls described the final days. The citizens stopped screaming. They moved in perfect, terrifying unison, acting as limbs for the single entity. They no longer spoke in human tongues, but in a synchronized, low-frequency hum that vibrated through the desert sand, causing the soldiers' ears to bleed. The decision was absolute. A holy decree was signed, commanding the complete erasure of the city's name from all maps, histories, and memories. 1 million innocent lives were sacrificed to ensure this entity would remain starved, buried, and forgotten forever under a tomb of infinite sand. Using ancient, forgotten methods of weather manipulation, or perhaps a dark miracle, a relentless, artificial sandstorm was summoned. For 40 days and 40 nights, the desert devoured the golden spires, the grand plazas, and the million walking dead, burying the entire quarantine zone hundreds of feet below the surface. Back in the present day, armed with the coordinates decoded from Father Thomas's stolen journal, Professor Marcus finally reached the blank spot in the Sahara. His modern equipment began to malfunction immediately. Electromagnetic fields spiked, and the air grew heavy with the smell of copper and ozone. And then he found it, a massive brass seal, identical to the drawing in the Vatican ledger, partially exposed by a recent violent desert wind. But Marcus's excitement turned to pure dread when he realized one thing. The heavy brass gate had not been opened from the outside. It had been shattered from within. Ignoring the warnings of history, Marcus descended into the dark tomb. The air inside was freezing, defying the desert heat above. The beam of his flashlight revealed walls lined with calcified bodies, all frozen in a posture of silent screaming, their faces turned toward the deep center of the buried city. As he reached the central plaza, the silence was deafening. But then, the whispers began, not in his ears, but directly inside his mind. The entity was not dead. It had waited 500 years in the absolute dark, starved but conscious, adapting to the silence. And now, a door had finally been opened. But Marcus was not alone. The Vatican's secret security division, the modern keepers of the seal, had tracked his movements. They arrived under the cover of darkness, not to rescue the expedition, but to ensure the quarantine remained intact. Anyone who makes contact with the deep dust must never be allowed to leave. The desert sands are shifting once more. The Vatican may try to cover up the truth, but the seal is broken. The ancient non-human intelligence, buried alive for half a millennium, is slowly rising to the surface. And this time, there are no armies left to build a wall. The dark truth of the 500-year sand tomb is finally free.